This year we had 600 people here in Metro Vancouver, 200 simulcast in Toronto, which is just so exciting. Live streamed, probably a couple thousand people there. We had classrooms at Queen's University and SFU, all participating in a national zero waste conversation.
Welcome to the Sustainable Region. I'm Dagmar Timmer. Metro Vancouver recently hosted the Zero Waste Conference, with presenters from around the globe delivering key insights into zero waste principles and the circular economy. This was the 5th year, and our first story takes a look at how the conference has grown.
We're here in Burnaby having a zero waste strategy conference where we're bringing together government, private sector, nonprofits, academia to talk about how we get to a zero waste society. We're in this zero waste thing together. We're in society together. And unless we're working together, we're really not going to achieve the goals of a zero waste society. It was really exciting to have Robert Lang from New York, who heads up their recycling and reuse division.
And its landlord said, how can I make my tenants do what I can't get them to pay the rent? How am I going to get them to recycle?
70% of their homeowners are in multifamily. And we know we have some really big challenges in multifamily. This is an emerging area that we want to be a part of, whether you're in private sector or the community or government. There's a lot of wins here that we can all feel proud about.
It's great to see so much participation in all these things. You know, I know the conference was sold out, but I think Metro did a great job, and all the staff and politicians did a great job.
So good morning and welcome to Metro Vancouver's second Zero Waste Conference. Really, we're trying to drive some conversation around product design, around wood, how we can reuse wood.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2012 Metro Vancouver Zero Waste Design Challenge design teams.
Your upfront cost is higher.
Push back on that one. I like it. I like where it's going.
Everyone's really engaged and is looking at zero waste in a really rounded way.
The circular economy instead of the linear economy. I do think that that's a paradigm shift where at all times we're educating people to think about the ultimate disposal of their product.
So it's quite interesting when you look at the whole system. What if that system could physically change?
I plan to introduce the National Zero Waste Council to you, and here's our mission: the importance of collaboration. And it recognizes the need to work both nationally and internationally in changing the way our global economy designs and produces consumer goods.
Coming down to an event like this is a recharge.
This year, we started to look at how the products are designed in the front end. What innovations are occurring there? How are they influencing as the manufacturers into this circular economy?
That everything we use is redistributed over and over and over, and we minimize the entropy loss. So this is the beginning of a journey. I think this is a race against time.
I came to the conference last year and this year, and I feel like it's very high quality conference, bringing in people that, you know, are being active right now.
When you have government and NGOs and the private sector and end users all sitting around the table, I think will be transformational.
Today we're at the Vancouver Convention Centre sharing highlights from the 2015 Zero Waste Conference. It included both current initiatives and big picture visions of economic systems. The message? There's economic value to be realized from zero waste and circular economy approaches. Let's take a look.
Today finds us at the Vancouver Convention Centre for the 5th annual Zero Waste Conference.
A theme of innovation and action supported the day-long discussion that saw attendees from government, business and institutions learn about leading areas of focus in eliminating waste.
We've attended this conference for a number of years because it's really sort of the leaders in the industry and always kind of showcasing innovative things that are happening.
We've had speakers who speak at a very high level, very, global big thinkers, right down to people who have very local experience.
That the circular economy has moved from concept to a standardized business model was the crux of the opening presentation.
I think there was a lot of learning that went on, a lot of inspirational conversation. We heard right from the beginning, let's get rid of the negative side of this and look at the opportunity, the positive opportunities that we have here.
Businesses were asked to rethink their purpose and redefine their goals. It was a call to action that extended to Toronto, where the conference was shared on a two-way live stream link.
That's what I want to learn from here. What are the things that I can also help in designing and producing to help the environment?
It's nice to step back and realize why you're doing this kind of stuff and be inspired. And the food is amazing.
That food was special platters delivered by chefs who cooked with recovered ingredients, illustrating solutions to supply chain food waste.
We started this morning at 3 o'clock. We're trying to take this food that people would say, oh, that would end up over here, and we're trying to make it so that it becomes more glamorous than just we're using recovery food.
Among the day's 7 panel sessions, packaging materials received attention, as did the sharing economy and government's role in directing policy.
We've got a new juncture here with a new government. It's time for them to just put their baby toe in the water and help us with this.
Banks of questions sparked conversations and were another element that provided a snapshot of the 2015 waste reduction issues in Metro Vancouver and a marker for years to come.
I'm Vikram Vij. I'm the chef and the owner of My Shanti by Vikram Vij in South Surrey. So it really bothers me when I see people just taking that little bit of grease and they just dump it down the drain, and it's like, why? If you need a great knife, if you need a great cutting board, you need that drain as well. Wipe down the grease a little bit and then put it in the green bin.
Welcome back. Bill McDonough is a designer, architect, and author who has radically reimagined how we make, use, and dispose of things. He was a keynote presenter at this year's conference, and up next, he sets out principles for a waste-free world.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me, and it's great to be here. It's a privilege. I want to talk a little bit about the idea of eliminating the concept of waste itself, and perhaps the mission. It lets us go beyond the idea of nothing toward the idea of 100% fabulous. So I'm calling the talk Cradle to Cradle Design for Beneficial Circular Economy. And it's very exciting to see that the definition of circular economy often now uses the language of design and intention coming from cradle to cradle, the idea of biological and technical nutrients, which we had the privilege of sort of coining as we put that concept forward, with the idea of technical materials that are something humans have created in the last 5,000 years. But it really does beg a question of immense humility, because for those designers, we must remember it did take us 5,000 years to put wheels on our luggage. And we went to the moon before we put wheels on our luggage. So this is a design assignment of tremendous proportion, but also immense humility. And so design is the first signal of human intention. And if we look at our intention, we can ask ourselves, what if we intended for material health? We intended for clean materials. We intend for reverse logistics and systems that reutilize materials. And we intend for clean energy, and we intend for clean water, and we intend for social fairness. Well, what would that do? That would bring us to a new place where we could start to integrate the idea of economics, which is clearly valuable for those for-profit companies as well as others and for everyone else. But the idea of economics, and we should make money with business in order to do good things. And they are, for-profit non-government organizations. So when you think about it, we can have missions too. And the idea that companies could be making things that follow the laws of nature, so they're eco-effective, so they restore biodiversity while doing business rather than simply destroy it less quickly, or they honor respect and dignity among people, as well as pay living wages and respect that everyone has a right to fair treatment in commerce and in society. So clearly, the linear economy is take, make, waste. And we're moving that, as we talked about 30 years ago, to retake, remake, and restore. So we can actually, as you so beautifully put in your program, we can start taking these wastes as assets and turn them into new assets, resource them, and then restore the world, because we're actually seeing new systems that allow biodiversity to be recovered. Our model then becomes quite interesting, because this one I call either or. If we can either mine gold at $210 a ton of value creation, or we can mine old cell phones and produce about $27,000 per ton of various rare earths and gold and palladium and so on. So either or. So we can now mine the past. That thing we called waste, as you have put it forward, and we can start even mining landfills for this and start to see these things as assets. So working together with Michael starting in the early 90s, we started by creating a protocol to go to things that are safe and healthy. We developed chemical rating systems based on the work Michael had done earlier in his chemistry work. We looked at human health criteria. We looked at environmental health criteria. So we were going through very precise things for production process. And we've put that into a codified system and gave it to the public as a gift. It's cradle-to-cradle certification. So this is now in the public domain. It's third-party, peer-reviewed, publicly available, and it's there for everyone's benefit. And the nice thing is we've trained assessors, and we want to train many around the world, who can articulate these and know these protocols. And we can look at projects and products down to the parts per million, even the parts per billion for ecological and human health. We can then rank them in their progress as they move from being basically understood and fully defined, completely defined, and then they progress from bronze to platinum as they improve in quality. And the concept is you improve or you lose your certification. Most certifications tend to stultify innovation, because once you get it, you want to keep it and you don't want to change anything. With Cradle to Cradle, it encourages constant improvement, or you lose it. The first product that we did was textiles, and then looking at the textile industry, obviously problematic because of various qualities of take, make, waste. And we looked at those and said, let's go to systems that instead of linear, where we're producing hazardous waste as a result of polluted water, let's change the chemistries. And in this case, it's a biological nutrient fabric that once put in a closed cycle made water coming out irrelevant, because the water was as clean as the incoming water, Swiss drinking water. And also the trimmings became mulch for the local garden club instead of hazardous waste being shipped to Spain. The idea that our water would be clean and that we can grow safe food from the residues of this production is quite a critical one, and I think it was inspiring to us in our work. We worked on the carpet industry because we realized that carpet was 1.4 billion pounds of waste in the United States every year. But working with Shaw and Berkshire Hathaway, that we're now #1 in the market, and it's a carpet designed to be endlessly reused. You're storing your raw materials on the customer's floor. That's a new logistical model. and sets up a business relationship that's long and enduring. When we look at that as a system, it's a technical nutrient cycling system. And it turns this into something that we can endlessly reuse by recycling through chemical recycling or thermal recycling and so on. This has now been applied to so many things. We've certified chairs with steel case. Next, Herman Miller, the two biggest furniture companies in the world, very high quality. And these materials are designed to be taken apart and reused anywhere in the world. Really, it's an intelligent material pool. And we've also been able to apply this next to cars with a concept car for Ford Motor car that can come apart, parts that go back to being parts and materials to materials. We've done it now. We've seen the world's first cradle-to-cradle certified battery of all things. So beautiful. It's made from salt water and paper in a polypropylene case. So wonderful not to be thinking we have to go mine metals and things that are problematic when we could be taking things from the surface that are something we evolved with. We're now doing it with buildings as essentially warehouses of materials that are designed as commodities of the future. These buildings are done with cradle-to-cradle certified materials. They're arrayed in ways that we can get them back in any time, and they become assets for the future, not only in their use because they can be converted to housing as well, but we also look at their material quality. NASA asked me to work on the Mars space station, and we said, what if we do a space station on Earth? So we got the same design team that did the International Space Station, who know how to solar power things and purify urine, and did a building on Earth that has the potential to make 120% of the energy it requires from renewables, purifies its own water. Building like a tree. It's done with the same budgets as a normal federal office building. You can now get cradle-to-cradle certified. The program is in the public domain. It's ready to go, ready to serve. So, as an architect, famously, Louis Sullivan, Frank Lloyd Wright's mentor, said, form follows function. Mies van der Rohe famously said, less is more. But if less is more is all we've got to offer the kids, then I think I'd like to add a new aphorism to the moment. Less may be more, but endless is most. So let's just not head for zero. Let's head for endlessness. Let's walk our way out through the Hildegard von Bingen poem. And remember, this is about things at our disposal, but we are to work with them, for without them we cannot survive. And if we handle them right, we can delight in them again, once again, by putting carbon into solid form in soil, reducing its atmospheric component. We can put our materials into reuse. We can glance once again at the sun as the source of energy, see the moon and the stars to delight in our place in the universe. We can gaze at the beauty of Earth's greenings as we restore them and regenerate them and live within them and offer future generations an opportunity to have them as beautifully as we have. And now we think. And this is why you're here, this is why I'm here, and thanks for having me.
Mash it up good like you know that you should. Switch it down flat so it's ready to stack. Grab a few friends and bring them to the spot. Stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp, 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 stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp, 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 stomp it.
You're watching The Sustainable Region. Innovation and efficiency have been at the heart of Ikea's business model since the company was founded in 1943. Up next, the Ikea Canada president explains how Ikea is tackling zero-waste challenges throughout their supply chain and helping customers live a more sustainable life at home.
It's a pleasure for me to be here in Vancouver, a very important market for Ikea Canada. Some years ago, Ikea created a strategy called People and Planet Positive. And it really includes three important parts, you can say. One is a more sustainable life at home. The second part is how we will secure our operations for the future through resource and energy independence. And then the third part, how we will support a better life for the people and communities impacted by our business. The world population is expected to plateau around 9 billion people by 2050, and billions of people will join the middle class, and more than 2/3 of the world population will live in big cities. IKEA is very well placed to support small space, also efficient and sustainable living. We believe that sustainability should be affordable and accessible to the many people, not the luxury for the few. So every year we have 750 million visitors to our brick-and-mortar IKEA stores, and we want to inspire and enable all the visitors to save energy. We want them to use less water, reduce and save waste. We were the first retailer in Canada phasing out incandescent bulbs, so today we are only selling LED bulbs. This year in Canada we have sold 1.2 million LED bulbs, and that means that we have helped the Canadians to save around 90 million kilowatt hours and about 10 million in energy costs over the past year alone. Solar is also another fantastic way for people to cut their household cost actually and to generate clean energy. And this is part of a test customer offers today in the UK, in Switzerland, we do it in Netherlands, and you can say an average UK family, they can cut their electricity bills in half with a solar installation, and after 7 years they will have paid back their cost and they can also generate renewable energy for free. Another important part of customers' footprint is how they get to and from an IKEA store. So we are the only retailer across Canada today offering charging stations for electrical vehicles. We of course do it for free as well. The second driver of our sustainability direction is actually energy and resource independence. The success of business and the prosperity of communities everywhere depend on a rapid transition to a low-carbon economy. For IKEA, action on climate change is a driver for innovation and renewal, and also an opportunity to make our business better and meet the needs and expectations of our customers. That is why we are going all in to transform our business, to ensure that it is a fit for the future and also that we can have a positive impact. So that's why we committed by 2020 that we will produce as much renewable energy as we consume in our operations. And we have allocated over 2 billion euro to invest in renewable energy actually, focusing on solar and wind. And so far we have approximately 750,000 solar panels on our buildings, and we have committed to own and operate 224 wind turbines. And this includes a 46 megawatt wind farm in Alberta. And this project is now producing enough electricity to power 32 IKEA stores or 15,000 households. And that makes us energy independent in IKEA Canada. And I'm so proud of this actually. We use a lot of wood to produce our products. And we are now at well over 40% more sustainable sources for the wood we use, and that means FSC certified, or it could also be recycled. We are on track to reach 50% by 2017 and 100% by 2020. And we are also very proud of our partnership in the Better Cotton Initiative to dramatically reduce the environmental impact of the cotton production. Through this initiative, we support projects that benefit more than 110,000 farmers in India and Pakistan. And at the end of August this year, we have 100% of the cotton used in IKEA product range come from more sustainable sources through the Better Cotton Initiative or similar programs. Here in Canada, we have offered a free take-back program for light bulbs and batteries since 2001. And we work with a world-leading recycler, not the melter, that safely separates these materials through the mechanical and chemical processes so they can be used again for other industrial purposes. We also offer mattresses recycling service at all IKEA Canada stores, where with the purchase and delivery, we will take away the old mattresses and box spring, and these large items are separated, and their component materials are used for carpet, underlay, insulation in cars, and much, much more. And also we have 85% waste reduction in our stores, and that vast majority of the waste generated in our stores are kept out of the landfill, and they are closing the loop and going back to the stores with paper towels and also napkins actually. Today, retail is mostly a one-way street, and we sell a product to a customer and usually never see the product again. And we think in the future this may not be the case. So designing with circular material flows in mind will give us the opportunity also to create more value through a product life cycle. So in closing, I hope that I have provided an overview at least of some of the ways we are developing a strong offer for our customers to live a more sustainable life at home, scaling values-based innovation and affecting positive change in various industries. And we are always learning along the way. We will approach challenges with humbleness, and we will for sure make some mistakes. As I said at the beginning, our vision is to create a better everyday life for the many people. And we know that IKEA can, and we also will, be a positive force in the society with sustainability at the heart of doing good business. Tack så mycket. Thank you very much.
That's all we have time for today. See more keynotes, panel discussions, and case studies from this year's Zero Waste Conference at metrovancouverblog.org. For the Sustainable Region, I'm Dagmar Timmer. Thanks for watching.